Good evening, everyone. My name is Lori Ferraro. I am zooming in from Boise, Idaho, and I'm super excited to be part of this wellness Zoom tonight. I want to age gracefully, and I think most people do. I'm in my 50s. I'm a wife of 32 years to my husband, Greg. We have two daughters, we have two son-in-laws, and we have three grandsons. So I am also a Mimo. And it's even more important to me since having my grandsons to age as gracefully as possible. I want to be able to run and play and be that grandma who's still out there doing all those things, hopefully in my 80s. I mean, if I can go to 90s, that's fantastic, right? I want to look as best as I can. I mean, I'm okay with getting, some fine lines and wrinkles. I mean, some of them are deserved, right? I earned some of those. But I want to have that to a mild degree, right? Is that fair? A mild degree. So I do want to age gracefully. I want to put things in my body that are helping my body, that are absorbing, and that are making me feel better. I mean, anything that can help, I'm so great with that. So I'm really looking forward to tonight. We're going to be going through 7 of our wellness products that I'm super excited for each of you to hear about. We have an amazing guest speaker who's going to be sharing so much knowledge. You guys are going to learn a lot tonight. I'm going to learn a lot tonight, and I'm really looking forward to that. And we also have 7 testimonials. There's going to be a testimonial on each of our 7 products. So with that, I am so blessed. I feel so blessed. I feel like everyone on this Zoom is so blessed because our guest speaker tonight, she's an emergency medicine physician. She's been that for 27 years, you guys. You think you're going to learn a little bit tonight? I would say you're going to learn a lot tonight. She's the Associate Program Director for Residency Program in Emergency Medicine. And for those of you who don't know what that means, she trains doctors to be emergency medical specialists. She's also an assistant professor of emergency medicine. So with that, I would love to introduce Dr. Annette Visconti.
Good evening, everyone. Some of you I
Welcome.
even met you before, and some of you welcome. I haven't met you. Um, I am very, very happy to be here today. Uh, I am, though, having one of those weeks that you all can definitely relate to. Way too many ER shifts, way too many sick people, sadly. And although all my patients did survive, my water heater did not survive this week. So that was also kind of exciting, wading through the basement. So if I'm a little off center today, just please forgive me. I'm going to try to go one step at a time.
You are fantastic. We are so appreciative that you're here. I know you've been burning the candle at both ends. I mean, Dr. Annette has been on her feet for 12 hours a day, several days in a row. I mean, she's burning the candle and she's here with us tonight to share some of her wealth of knowledge. So we can't thank you enough. Appreciate you so much. So when I was talking about our 7 products, I think you guys are going to be so fascinated to learn something about each and every product. So let's start with our first product. And our first product is called Vitalité. And it comes in this nice little box, just like this. And you open it up and there's a packet for each day. It's a 30-day supply. And there's 5 little supplements in each packet. This is what kickstarts my day. I love this, Dr. Annette. It helps to give me energy. It helps to get my day started. I think one of my favorite things, and maybe you can address a little bit of why, is that I can take it on an empty stomach. I've never been able to take a supplement on an empty stomach without feeling nauseous or vomiting, or you just don't feel good. And I love that I can take this on an empty stomach, kickstart my day, and not worry about it. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, Dr. Annette.
Great, great. So I'm here because I love these products. And I think these are the best products that are pretty much on the market in vitamins and supplements. So just to start with that, that is why I'm here with you. Vitalite, it is not grandma's multivitamin. We call it the multi. It isn't that. Yes, it does have multivitamins. It does have minerals. It has all those vitamins you've heard about it. Vitamin A, all the vitamin Bs, vitamin D, it has all of those things. And in fact, it has those things with a superior absorption than we did a controlled study. And the Vitalité gets in 44% of the time, whereas in the control, it's only 10%. So you have these little multivitamins that are getting in better. But it's not just a multivitamin. Nothing this company puts out is just one thing. This is an elixir of health, and an elixir of sort of promoting graceful aging. So you have your vitamins and your minerals and your amino acids, but then you have the enzyme blend. And this may speak to what you were saying, Lori, because it breaks down the molecules so that we absorb them better. And maybe breaking them down with the enzyme blend is more natural. Well, what's the right word? Is less nauseating than your body trying to break it down all by itself. It also has, so it's not just though the multivitamins, the enzyme blend, it's also your omega-3. And everybody knows that their doctor says that your omega-3 is really good for heart health. I started taking it years ago when I was diagnosed with high blood pressure. My doctor said, you either take omega-3 or eat herring every morning. I had trouble with the herring, so I took omega-3. So we have omega-3. It also has probiotics, and not just one strain or two strains, but 3 strains. This is huge to vary your gut biome so that you are healthier and have more natural immunity. But wait, there's even more. There's the berry blend. The berry blend has phytonutrients, which helps all of your genes function. Now, I'm going to say something, this is going to sound a little scientific. Excuse me, my cold is coming through a bit. But the epigenetic studies that we did, that 3 did, I should say, included Vitalité. And what an epigenetic study is, it's helping you decide if whatever you're taking is going to turn on or turn off a gene. So that's really all you have to know about it. Is it turning something good on or turning something bad off? And they found that Vitalité turned on, so increased or upregulated the GLP-1, that's glucagon-like protein 1. Guess what else upregulates that you all know and love because television talks about it? It's called Ozempic. So Ozempic also works with the GLP-1, and what the GLP-1 does is help regulate blood sugar and stomach emptying and appetite. So it kind of helps in that way. In our epigenetic study, Vitalité also, upregulated the BDNF, which is the one that helps with cognition. So those are my 2 favorites that it does. And of course, while it's doing all of these things, it's still GMO, it's gluten-free and third-party tested. So it's an amazing product. I think we can go to a testimonial if we have one.
Yeah, we sure do. I'm going to turn it over to Sophia.
Hi, my name is Sophia Tarleton. I live in Monroe, North Carolina. I started taking this product. I work with Karen Bateson at Town and Country Ford. I just started taking it. One morning we were talking in her office and I was telling her that all the things that I needed to start taking. And she was like, oh, you need to start taking Vitalité. And I was like, okay, sign me up. So I got my product. I started taking it. And within a couple days, I was like, Karen, I'm like, I feel totally different. I said, I feel like actually I have energy. I feel like, I feel really good. And she was like, great. That's what we want. I mean, if I go a couple of days without taking the product, it's a total game changer. I mean, I feel good when I take it. Like I've been without, I got, my shipment got mixed up and I didn't have my packets. And I was like a total different person. I'm back on it and it's great. I miss it. I like it, and it's very convenient. The little packets are fantastic. All you do is put one in your purse, and you're right. You can take it any time of the day. It doesn't matter. It is a great product. I like it. It's great. And that's not the only thing I. This is not the one I'm supposed to talk about. It's one of the #1 products that's out here. So thank you. It's great.
Well, thank you so much, Sophia. That was a beautiful testimonial. And I totally agree with you. It is great. From my own experience, my dad, now picture my dad, man from Brooklyn, plumber. He's not taking any of those shishi drinks. I'm not doing it, he says. But I said, just try the Vitalité. So he did. And 2 days later, he calls me up. He's like, and he's 80. So picture, an older guy. He's like, well, I took down the pool myself, and then I put the filter in the cellar. And then after that, I went shopping, and now I'm cooking dinner for your mother. And do you think it could be the vitamins? And I was like, I think so, Dad. And what I forgot to say before was that there is also another upregulated gene called the NRF1, which works with the mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of the cell, and also with respiration, and that gives energy. So maybe that's where it's coming from, that upregulation.
Wow. I love that story. I love the testimonial, Sophia, and I love the story about you. And I'm just picturing him. I can just see this cute dad from Brooklyn. I love it. But how awesome that we're all noticing. I mean, Sophia noticed, your dad noticed, like it really is working. And I mean, all these things that you shared, I mean, I'm having all these notes. I love it. The NFR, the BDNF, the GLP-1, you know, all these things that it's helping to turn on or enhance. How awesome, you guys. I mean, people are having results. I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Annette, are these not absorbing like at a cellular level? Am I wrong in saying that?
And that's where it's going ultimately. So getting it in past the stomach is the first hurdle, which we're doing at a good rate. And then after that, it's got to go through to the cell.
It's great, you guys, because it's not just what we're putting into our body, it's what our bodies are absorbing. And I want to know if I'm spending money. I mean, our body, we only have one body, right? Our body is our temple. And I want to know if I'm spending money on something, it's actually absorbing and it's working. I mean, it needs to work, it needs to absorb. I think sometimes people spend money and they feel like, well, it sounds good to say I'm taking supplements, but my question is, are they absorbing? Are they working? Are they doing their job? Don't waste your money. And you can't put a price on health. You just can't. So I'm going to move on to our next product, Dr. Annette. I get so excited about this. It's just such good stuff. So collagen is our second product, and I love how they come in these little packets. And ours is a liquid collagen. I'm guessing Dr. Annette will probably address a liquid collagen versus a powder collagen. And I love that it's marine based. It's just an amazing, it tastes good too. I love that it tastes good. So you just rip this open and drink it down. And I'll turn it over to you, Dr. Annette.
Just so you all know, Dad has decided, even though it's a little shishi, he's drinking his collagen. But when I first saw collagen, I was like, okay, so it's collagen in a little bag, but no, it's not just that, of course, because it's an elixir, which includes collagen. How do we take this? We take it for 10 days, and then we take a break because we want our body to be able to produce collagen all on its own without the supplement. So that's a very kind of a nice touch, I think, to get your body to do it besides everything else. In terms of what percent gets in, the study said about 73% compared to that control of 10. So it's a huge difference to other supplements out there. There's 5 grams of this marine collagen, but it's not just sitting there. Think of marine collagen as this huge molecule, got probably all sorts of sides to it, really big. Your stomach is like, what is this thing? Let's just pass it through. But we micronized it. I say we, but 3 micronized it and hydrolyzed it, which makes it absorb better. Micronized made smaller, hydrolyzed added some water to it. So those are really the things that we've done to make it absorb better. What is collagen really for? Firming of the skin, having a glowing complexion, having great nails. But in this collagen, which I really thought was just collagen, is not. There's also keratin. Keratin is also great for the skin, hair, and nails. Besides that, there's hyaluronic acid. What is that doing? It's preventing water loss. So it's making you look a little fluffy. So that's good. We like a little fluffy. We don't want to be all gaunt, and that makes you look kind of older, I think, and takes more of those wrinkles. You can see them. The hyaluronic acid also helps with elastin production. So those are the things it's doing. And the fun one that's in there that I totally was like, I was blown away. I didn't know it was in there, was pomegranate juice. And the pomegranate juice is this amazing phytonutrient. And you can look online, and even if wherever you're looking at even the Mayo Clinic, it'll tell you there's all these billions of things that it could possibly be doing. It is an antioxidant. It may be cardioprotective. It may be anti-carcinogenic. It's also helping with fiber in your digestive tract so that you have more regular movements. It has some vitamin C. So it is sort of an all-purpose thing. So collagen is kind of amazing. It's not just the collagen, although it is the collagen too. And I have come to love it.
I love it too. And I have a great testimonial for you. I'm going to turn it over to Darryl.
Hi there, I'm Darryl. I'm from Idaho Falls, Idaho. And I'm an electrician by trade. And so I'm always going up and down on ladders, carrying tools. And I started taking collagen because I was looking for answers. My elbows, my shoulders, knees, I was aching. I was really concerned because of the pain if I was going to be able to keep working because it just kept getting worse and worse. The collagen just helped me out tremendously. After taking collagen for 2 months, the pains just disappeared. It's just like all of a sudden I realized, well, I'm going up and down on a ladder and I'm not feeling any pain anymore. So it was a great feeling. Yeah, so I love collagen. It's just it tastes great, easy to take. Yes, excellent.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad that it helped you to that level because it is really uncomfortable when your knees are hurting, your elbows are hurting, and you're trying to do your job. I know because sometimes in the ER my knees would hurt, and I'd be like, oh, I got to really walk all the way to room 35. But yes, the collagen is great. What I saw from it, and it's not my joints just because I wasn't quite there yet. It has to do with my hair. Like I have that crazy widow's peak. I don't know if you guys have seen that, you know, how that looks. But all of a sudden, I've got these little patches of hair growing in that little widow's peak area. They're tiny still, but like maybe like an inch or so now, but they're growing. So I'm like, wow, I'm not going to have a widow's peak anymore. That's kind of cool. So between your elbows and my hair, we're doing really great.
And I saw Dr. Annette in the chat that Kelly put WD-40 for my joints.
I love it.
That was cute. I like that. Okay, well, let's move on to our third product, which is called Revíve. And you can see these little orangish colored supplements. And Revíve's going to help with inflammation. And correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Annette, but inflammation is one of the #1 causes of disease in our body. And so if we can keep our inflammation down, it's going to help our body perform better. So I want to turn it over to you, Dr. Annette.
You are absolutely correct. Inflammation is where all the problem starts. So you have the inflammation and then you have it for too long and then your body can't take care of it anymore. So now you have, let's say, God forbid, cancer. So it's something we want to control. And also speaking of joints, this one is also very good for the joints. Revíve gets absorbed 30% of the time compared to the control of 10%. So I think that we're doing pretty well there. It has some very interesting ingredients, but my favorites, I think, are the curcumin and the black cumin oil. I kind of like those best. Both of them are helping you with healthy joints and exercise recovery. So I think those are two hugely important things. They also have, of course, it's not just one thing, right? This is like the usual. We're not talking about just one thing in there. We're talking elixir. So this elixir also has shiitake mushroom extract. And that is a huge antioxidant. And it's helping muscle recovery. Also, by like a side effect, supports the immune system. My favorite that I think just because it's kind of fun that it's in there is grapeseed oil. And grapeseed oil is increasing your circulation and is an anti-inflammatory. It may promote aerobic endurance. So maybe you'll do a little better at whatever exercise thing you're trying to do. The grapeseed oil, though, has like a laundry list of possible benefits, which includes all of the usuals, anti-inflammatory, cardioprotective. We could go through the whole list. It has all of those. The other fun thing about Revíve is its epigenetic, the epigenetic study relating to Revíve. So there are these two genes that when they're overactive, you can get arthritis and even also neuro diseases. I can tell you their names, NFKB and IL-6. When they are down regulated, which Revíve does, that is what's going to help you because it's going to decrease inflammation in your body. So amazing, amazing product. Also that GLP-1 we talked about before happens to be in Revíve too, and it also upregulates for some reason it's there. And also the one for cognitive in the brain, it's also in there upregulating. So a really great product. I love it, and I actually love the color too. It's kind of pretty.
Yeah, I like the color too. I totally agree. But wow, and when you're talking absorption and you say these numbers, I mean, this one you said 30%. The collagen you said 73%. I mean, these are crazy numbers. I mean, you're saying gold standard is 10%, and we're way above that, you guys. I mean, again, it's not just what you put in your body, it's what your body is absorbing. And man, you can't put a price on good health. So I love that you're giving us these numbers, because there's power and there's, this is knowledge. And this is when we have knowledge, we have power. I mean, power to help our own health. And I love it. So thank you for sharing those numbers. And I do have a testimonial for you, Dr. Annette. I'm going to turn it over to Jey.
Well, thank you, Lori, and thank you, Dr. Annette. I'm learning so much tonight. I really appreciate these calls. The knowledge is just, it's fantastic. So quickly, there's a bit of a backstory to my situation. I found out as an adult that my legs are slightly different lengths. So now I wear a shoe lift, but for all my growing up and all that, I was walking kind of slanted. And so I developed, lower spine issues because of that. I also had knee problems. Then in my, my 20s, I wasn't really taking care of myself. I was being irresponsible. I ended up getting some sporting injuries because I was doing sports I should not have been doing, while I was partying with friends and things like that. So I got into more trouble. And the answer that the medical establishment had given me in Canada here where I'm from, I'm zooming in from Canada, by the way, was to take ibuprofen. And so I was just taking ibuprofen all the time, every day. And that went on for a few years until I could no longer take it because, as people know now, it has a dramatic impact on your stomach lining. And so I had these issues, and it turned into I would go to the doctors, and they wouldn't give me any way to help with, like, to get rid of the pain. They started giving me pamphlets that said pain management. And they're like, you're just going to learn to cope with the pain now because we can't help you. And that wasn't good enough for me. So I tried everything under the sun. I did, the yoga and all these different things and different therapies and eating better. And I started taking care of myself. But it wasn't until, because I was taking, products from the health food store that didn't work. They didn't really do anything, right? Like a turmeric pill capsules, they did nothing for me. But when I took these magic beans, as we call them, the Revíve, it was just a complete life-changing experience for me. And so, I mean, we're talking, and I know Dr. Brett a few weeks ago, he talked about the baseline pain. Okay. So what this did for me is just reduce that baseline pain to, next to where I don't notice it anymore. It went from learning to cope with this baseline that's always there and waking up in the middle of the night to just, it's gone. And on 5 separate occasions, I have a scientific mind, both my parents were actually doctors. I tested it. I stopped taking it, because I'm like, okay, well, let's see. And I stopped taking it on 5 occasions. And on each occasion, the exact same thing happened. My baseline pain shot right back up about a day and a half later, I guess, after it cleared out of my system. Maybe you can explain that, doctor. And then I took it again, and then the baseline went right back down. So five times I did that experiment. And so I'm a lifer for Revíve. I take all the products, but this one for me is a real life changer. So that's my story. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that testimonial and your personal story. I mean, I am so happy that you are doing so amazingly well, because I can't imagine chronic pain destroys your every day. I don't know if anybody on here besides you it destroys your every day. So it's a joy killer. So this Revíve is basically, I guess, brought some joy back. I'm so happy. For me personally, I didn't have anything as extraordinary as the illness, the difficulties you had, but I had a small common peroneal nerve, I guess you call it a neuropathy, neuropraxia palsy, where I had foot drop, meaning I couldn't lift my foot up. And it was because of an injury, like I tripped and fell and did silly things, and I couldn't lift my foot up at all. And I started taking the Revíve, and it, I believe, helped me to get that movement back much faster than if I had to go to physical therapy for a year and all of these other things. So I'm a Revíve, I'm sold on it as well.
I love it too, Dr. Annette and Jey. I think it's fantastic. And boy, what another powerful testimonial. I mean, all these testimonials have been incredible. And I do see in the chat, and I see it says, and I'm going to address this real quick, and then I will turn it to Dr. Annette, but I believe I know the answer. So it says, is there any drug interaction between Revíve and drugs used to treat rheumatoid arthritis? So I just want to say, you guys, you want to check with whoever your personal doctor is and, get the okay from them. We're not trying to, replace your personal doctor that you have. We're just trying to, pass on information about each product that will help. And I don't know if you want to address that any further, Dr. Annette.
We understand that a lot of the things that Revive is doing are things that the medications you take will be trying to do as well. So it is a little bit, you may have to be careful depending on what medication your doctor has you on, if this will be, let's say, too much of one thing. So you'd have to just have them look at the PDR, look at the meds and see how it'll mix.
Oh, and you know what I love that you just mentioned? PDR. So for those of you who don't know what that is, it's called the Physician's Digital Reference. And I'm going to let Dr. Annette explain a little bit more about that and how powerful that is for us.
So when I was a young doctor, it was this huge, huge book that you could hardly pick up off the table. But now it's become, so it used to be called Physician's Desk Reference. Now it's digital reference. And basically any FDA approved drug would be in there. So a doctor would reach for it when they're giving you any of your medications to make sure they're the dosage and side effects and all of these things. And our 3 company has gone, paved the way, and I don't know how hard they must have worked to get this done, but all of our products are in the PDR. So our doctors can look in there and understand exactly what is the product, exactly what it does, and feel confident that it's something that is a good company is putting out.
Yeah, so powerful. You guys, that is not heard of. I mean, to have nutraceutical company with all of their products in there, that's unheard of. And I know that doctors and people in the medical community are sitting up and taking note. I mean, have you not noticed, Dr. Annette? I mean, you yourself, I mean, doctors are leaning in going, wow, you're in the PDR, that speaks volumes.
Definitely.
Okay, so I'm going to move on to our 4th product, which is called Purifí. And you can see these little green supplements, and I'm guessing Dr. Annette will address why they're green. Another pretty color, another pretty color. It's a gentle detox.
I'm not 100% sure why they're green. I think it had something to do with chlorophyll in the capsule, I believe. I think I read that somewhere, so I could be wrong about that. So, but Purifí is also great in terms of its absorption. We have that control group of 10% and Purifí is 88%. That is absolutely huge. It is what we call, what all of us are calling a gentle cleanse. What does that mean to me? That means we're not like cleansing and then sitting at the toilet or, waiting and hoping then that all it's going to be over soon. We're not doing that at all. This is something you can take every single day. What does it have in it? Again, it's an elixir. It is not just one thing. There is shale extract, which is kind of just a fun thing. I'm like, there's rock in there. But what that's doing is removing the heavy metals. So that's a good thing. There's also a couple of fun things, and you can read about them more if you want, and things like the Mayo Clinic talks about them or Cleveland Clinic. Please, if you're reading about any of these things, do it from sites like that. Don't do it from like WebMD or something. Anyway, milk thistle is another thing that's in there. Milk thistle has been known for many, many years to be useful for liver health. Particularly for diseases like hepatitis, where it can decrease the inflammation of the liver. So that is huge. It does other things, milk thistle as well. It helps decrease blood sugar. It might help with indigestion, but it's real basic thing. And what we have it in Purifí for is so that it can cleanse your liver. There's a second one, mullein leaf, which is also a very ancient, I guess you call it a natural medication, and it is for lung cleansing. What is that? What did they used to use it for in the old days? It was for TB and whooping cough. Nowadays, people are thinking about using it more for allergies and pneumonias and stuff like that, but definitely for lung cleansing, helpful for lung inflammation. I can see reasons why, if you have any lung inflammation, this could be useful.
Wow.
And there's also another fun one, guys. Ready for this name? Nettle leaf. Nettle leaf is for urinary health, and it is a bit of a diuretic. So it is also helping to cleanse the kidneys and the bladder. So those are some great things, but we're not done yet. There's still more in there. There's kelp and pectin. So these are not probiotics, but prebiotics. So your probiotic bacteria is all your good bacteria in your gut, and it's living happily, but it gets hungry. and you need to feed it. So Purify helps feed it by giving it kelp and pectin so that it has the prebiotics. So yeah, that's all I can tell you about Purify.
Wow. Well, that you told us a lot. I mean, that's all. She says that's all, and she tells us like so much. That was power packed. I love it. And I have a testimonial, and I'm going to turn it over to Curtis.
Thanks, you guys. I really don't know what I can add to that, tell you the truth. Just listening to Dr. Annette tell us about all these wonderful products is amazing. I can just tell you right now that, you know, I started adding Purify in when I saw what the product would do, and the basics of it was just, you know, a little bit of irregularity, it just evens that out. And then I saw it as kind of a building block. I just wanted to make sure that, you know, as your body's being cleaned out, it just gives it a good place to actually absorb the rest of our products. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to start over from scratch, you know, clean up my gut biome and make sure that I'm ready to rock and roll. And I take one every morning, and you know, it's a great product. I love it. So that's pretty much all I can tell you.
I love it too. I have a quick question, Curtis.
Shoot.
I believe you also, did you not share it? Correct me if I'm wrong. Did you not share it with your brother-in-law or somebody that was around heavy metals?
Yeah. I have a niece's husband that is a hard rock miner, and his lead levels in his blood were elevated. I saw our product and what it could do. I gave it to him, and he's had incredible results dropping the heavy metals out of his system. And it's a situation where if he can't pass these metal levels, then he won't have a job anymore. So it was critical for him to get that stuff taken care of, and he's had just great results with it.
Thank you so much. That's so wonderful. Thank you for your testimonial. I do take it every day now also, but I originally didn't. But as I kind of looked into it more and I thought about where I live in Queens. I'm like, wow, think about the air that's around me. Think about, you know, who knows what I'm eating every day? Who knows how my lungs are really doing? Let me take it. So that's how I started taking it every day too.
Yeah, I also take it every day, Dr. Annette. I love it. I mean, I'm like you. I think, you know, there's things that we're breathing, there's things we're eating, there's things in our water. I mean, clothes. I mean, there's contaminants all over, makeup, deodorant. I mean, we could go on and on of all the things that we're exposed to on a daily basis that I like knowing that I'm detoxing my body every single day consistently, because I guarantee every single day I'm getting toxins put into my body. So if I can do a little something to help, you know, get some of that out, I definitely want to do it. So I'm like you, and I also take it every single day. Well, we'll move on to our next product, which is called Imúne, and it's going to help boost our immune system. It's just going to help give our immune system a little boost, and who doesn't want their immune system boosted? So I'm going to turn it over to you, Dr. Annette.
Well, absolutely. They're my buddies now, those little immune tablets this week. They're my buddies. So Imúne, in terms of absorption, the 10% control is where we're way above. We're at 44%. So that is also pretty huge. When we're talking about Imúne, I'm thinking about it as sort of an army. So I bear with me on this analogy, but the first thing that Imúne does for us is it attacks the bacteria's communication system directly. And that's that quorum sensing support. So it goes after the bacteria, or some say viruses too, that's still being proven, but either bacteria or viruses, and inhibits communication, which we all know that is the best way to down an army, by messing with communication. So, okay, it does that, but then it also supports both kinds of immunity that we have. We have an innate immunity. Our innate immunity is sort of like, if you think about it as the first line of the army, right? You send in all these guys, and we don't know what we're dealing with. We just send them and they go. And those cells would be macrophages, maybe natural killer cells. They don't know what they're facing. They're not really ready. They're just going. And that's what our innate immunity is. And we have a blend in this immune capsule that actually supports that part of our immune system. It has elderberry and lion's mane mushroom and a couple of other amazing things like aloe and vitamin E. And those things support the innate immunity. Now, we also have an adaptive immunity. Sort of this is when the army knows what the disease is or knows who's attacking us. And now they're sending in like the specialized units. It's like when special forces goes in. So now our special forces, those cell types would be the B cells, which are making antibodies. And then there's also the T cells. And both of those kill more specifically. They're looking to kill a specific thing. And so with Imúne helping us with the stopping the communication and the innate and adaptive immunity, it's a three-pronged attack to stop you from being sick or keep you from being sick.
Wow, that is powerful. And I love how you used you know, the first line of defense and the special unit. I mean, I just got this such a great visual, and that was really, really helpful. Yeah, this is a powerful thing. And then I have to say that was a very helpful analogy. And then it also made me think of our veterans, and I just have such a heart for veterans and anybody in the military. So I just want to give a shout out if we have any veterans, any active military on here tonight. Thank you so much for your service. We all appreciate you and just can't thank you enough. So I know that was a little off track, but my brain went there, and sometimes, you know, squirrel, there's Lori. But I do have a testimonial for you, Dr. Annette, because this is such an amazing product. Laura Lee, would you like to share your testimonial?
Yes, thank you, Lori. Thanks for having me on, and it's a pleasure to meet you, Dr. Annette. And I like all the products, but Imúne's been especially helpful for me. Oh, I'm Laura Lee Schroeder, and I live in Spring Creek, Nevada. There you go. But I used to suffer from sinus infections several times a year and be on antibiotics. And I have a lot of grandkids. There's 18 of them, and they're 21 to ages 3. So when I have the little ones, the next morning I'll wake up and my head will start getting plugged up, and I will take 4 of them for, well, usually only takes 1 day, but sometimes a couple of days. But I always take 1 to 2 a day normal, but I'll boost it up when I get the sniffles. And I haven't been on an antibiotic for quite some time now. So that's a huge plus for me, that I really love the Imúne. And then my little grandson, who's had RSV and all kinds of little respiratory issues. My daughter calls me up one night and he just sounds horrible. And they had such, kind of, no offense, but bad luck with the ER here. And I told her, well, and you know, I give him some Imúne, and she did. She started putting it in his sippy cup, and she also puts it in the little pouches for applesauce and stuff. And his cough was gone in less than 3 days. Now, to me, that's a miracle. And so I just tell all my kids to give, you know, shake it up good and give it to them, and they've gotten better from it. But I won't go without it. I won't travel without it or anything. I think it's a blessing to have, and I like all their products and the fact that it's in the PDR and it's clean, and you know, it's perfect. But thank you for letting me share.
Thank you so much for that testimonial. And I agree with you entirely. I think that if you're getting sick, you should double up a little bit, which is what I kind of did this week. My ER has every virus that you can imagine right now. We're testing positive for RSV, for metapneumovirus, which kills elderly folks. We're at COVID, the old COVID. We're testing positive for coronaviruses. I mean, just like everything. Flu, I almost forgot flu. So my resident doctors have been dropping like flies, literally. They're getting 102 fevers, so they can't work, and it's for like days at a time, for like 3 or 4 days. And these are all young 30-year-old people. So me, I'm a little older than that, y'all, you know, I'm up in the, you know, high 50s. And I had it too. I started getting it on Sunday, and I started taking my Imúne, and I sounded scratchy when I spoke to Lori yesterday. Look, today, you can hardly hear it. It's maybe a little there, but you can hardly hear it. And I really believe that has to do with the Imúne, because my residents are still out sick. One of them just called me her fever finally broke after 3 days. So
Wow.
Imúne is rock the Imúne.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's like such an incredible product. I mean, again, you've heard Dr. Annette's testimonial, you heard Laura Lee's testimonial. I mean, I'm like that too. I don't want to travel without it because it's just one of those things. And I can tell you, in this season, Dr. Annette, when people are dropping and, being so sick and all of these things, if I forget to take that, I'm telling you, I can start to feel a little scratchy or something. It's like, oh no, I got to boost that up again because I know it helps. I know it helps immensely, and I want to keep my immune system boosted and as healthy as possible. And really quick, I did see in the chat, and I want to say again, you guys, we aren't trying to take the place of anyone's personal doctor. That's not what we're trying to do. We just want to help. Someone wrote, my sister's exposed to mold because of her job. What pillar cocktail would help her most? Do you have any thoughts on that, Dr. Annette? And again, we're not going to take the place of anyone's doctor. Anything that you think would help with mold?
So, I mean, I don't know for sure that Imúne is helping with mold because, to be totally honest, I don't know how mold communicates. So from that perspective, I can't answer that part of it, but anything that's decreasing inflammation in the lungs is probably a good idea. So I'm looking at I'm looking at the Purify, and Imúne may be helping with the innate and adaptive immunity part of it. So I would be looking at those.
Awesome.
Please don't just take.
Right. Yep. We don't want to give medical advice on here. We're just, obviously Dr. Annette is a doctor, but she's not your personal doctor. So you want to check with your personal doctor.
We're I'm happy to recommend.
We're helping. Well, our next product is Éternal. And I absolutely love this one too. I love all of them. Again, it comes in a little packet, little sachet packet. You're going to shake it up, rip it open, drink that down. Powerful antioxidant. It does so many wonderful things. I'll turn it over to you, Dr. Annette.
I adore Éternal as well. I don't know if maybe the purple color, I have a thing for these colors, but in terms of the absorption that we've been starting with for each one, Éternal has 95% compared to our 10% control. And what does Éternal have in it? It has great stuff. It has resveratrol. And what is that? Well, that occurs in grape skins, which is why it's found in red wine, but also in grape juice. So that's why those studies came out saying you should drink a glass of red wine. They could have also said grape juice, but that's okay. It is a hugely powerful antioxidant. And in my reading about it, they described it as saran wrap around your cells, protecting them from damage, which I thought was such a nice visual. It's supporting longevity, supporting healthy cellular aging. It has brain and heart health protection, maybe anti-clotting effect. So it has great stuff and some good studies on it. So resveratrol is a good thing to be taking, and I'm glad it's in our Éternal. The second thing in there that's kind of interesting is glutathione. This is a huge, powerful antioxidant, good for immune support, good for energy levels. And if you wanted to get it from a doctor in an injection form, it would be about $300 or thereabouts. So it's a very expensive thing to get an injection, and without getting it in injection, you have a hard time absorbing it unless you happen to be taking Éternal.
I love it. And I know our absorption rates are so high. We're always above that 10% gold standard. I know. I mean, incredible.
This one is 90. I mean, this is huge. This one, you're getting a lot when you're taking that packet, you're getting it. That's pretty much it.
Wow.
It also has marine collagen, which we already talked about and we know and love. And it has the fun superfruits. Who doesn't love eating, what is that thing called? A acai bowl, which, it has acai. It has pomegranate again, because we love that. It has goji as well. All of them are huge, wonderful antioxidants, which you can read about them, but they have pretty much all those same things: anti-inflammatory, anti-carcinogenic, heart protective, all those things. It also happens to have coenzyme Q, which is helpful for mitochondrial health. The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. That's pretty much its job. It makes cellular energy. So it increases your natural energy by having extra coenzyme Q. And yeah, that's what I have to say. I love Éternal.
And who doesn't want their energy increased, right? I mean, I know I do. I like I said, I want to age gracefully. don't we all? I mean, I'm sure you hear that all the time, Dr. Annette. Like, who doesn't want to age gracefully and be able to enjoy life as long as we can? I mean, I don't want to be laid up on the couch or in a bed. I mean, I want to go. I want to run. I want to be able to, and I'm not saying I'm a runner, you guys. Like, I want to be able to walk fast. How's that?
Excellent. I
I'm
want to
not a
be,
runner. Who
and
am I
I
trying to
I still want to be able to like see Machu Picchu, maybe not like climb up, but just see it.
It does, right? And I love the way this tastes. It tastes fantastic. I mean, all of our products, I mean, these liquid, they taste good. I mean, some people are like, oh, I'm like, no, 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 no. It tastes really good. So I do have a testimonial for you. I'm going to turn it over to Victoria.
Hi, everyone. I am zooming in from Little Rock, Arkansas. So Éternal is one of my favorite products. I love all the products, but it's just recently become one of my favorite products. So I'm a teacher, and I put in some long hours in the classroom, and I used to drink a lot of coffee and Diet Coke and whatnot to give me a little pep. And I heard on these Zooms before people share about how when they did it in the afternoon, like a little snack, it would give them a little pep, a little pep me up. And I was like, well, that's interesting because, see, I couldn't figure out what was going on when I was taking it at the beginning. I was taking it at night along with my collagen. And then I couldn't figure out why I had a hard time falling asleep. So that made total sense to me. So I started having a little of the little sachets of it, kind of like a little bit after lunch. And it just gives me that extra boost, and I can keep going. And I know it's doing wonders for my body as far as getting rid of all the extra toxins and all the other things that the free radicals and all the other great stuff that we acquire. But other than that, I mean, I get that benefit of that extra boost of energy, and I just love it. It was not that I was reluctant at first to take it, but I was trying all the other products, and I was just like, I don't know if I'm ready to add one more. And when I heard about it on these testimonials, I was like, I got to try it. So it's quickly become one of my favorites.
Thank you so much for that, Victoria. And I am, my hat's off to you for being a teacher. I come from a family of teachers. This is a difficult job in today's world. And I can see where you need the extra energy. And I'm glad that the Éternal is helping with that. Also, what I love about Éternal is you can take it different ways. For example, I love to freeze it like it's an ice pop. That's my favorite way to have it. Like one of those kitty ice pops you used to squeeze. That's how I love it. Or in my smoothies. I like it in a smoothie as well. So those are like two great ways you can also use it and have it. And it's very tasty in there.
Ooh, I love that. I put mine in the refrigerator. It doesn't have to be refrigerator. You guys can keep it in your pantry. You can keep it on your counter. You can keep it under your bed for whatever you want to do. But I like it in the fridge. But now, Dr. Annette, I'm gonna have to try it in the freezer because I think that sounds fantastic, like a little ice pop. I love that idea. I'm gonna do that tonight. In fact, for tomorrow. Okay, well, let's move on to our final product, which this is called Visage, and this is our neurocosmetic facial serum. This is a very exciting product. We are the only neurocosmetic on the market. They found there's a skin-brain connection. You know, not only does it help you look good, it helps you feel good mentally. You know, it's going to give you a little boost. And we do have a little line. We have a cleanser and a toner that, you know, you wash your face, you put on your toner, and then you put on your little serum. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Dr. Annette.
Excellent. So I heard neurocosmetic and I was like, what? What is that? So basically, it's just that your skin has its own little nervous system underneath. And as the product absorbs, it goes to the skin nervous system, which eventually can make its way to the brain and then hopefully increase some of our feel-good hormones, for example, dopamine. That's kind of the idea behind it. And I sat there and I said, is that really possible? And so then I thought about it a little bit more. When you talk about embryology, God knows you don't all want to talk about embryology because it was a class in med school for an entire semester. So it's a
Wow.
whole thing, but the brain and the skin have similar embryonic origins, meaning they come from the same layer of cells. It's called the ectoderm. You don't need to know that, but they're together. And that's why they think that this connection is so strong, because they start off together. And if you want to think about what like neurocosmetic-y things you already know about, aromatherapy can affect your mood. That kind of makes some sense, right? That there's a connection. Or menthol. If you put menthol on your skin and you feel that nice cooling, that might also affect how you feel. So those are just some of the simpler things we have out there that are kind of doing that. But we have the first one that's out there, and I'm sure there's other companies looking into it, but probably not there. What does it do for us? It definitely does help with wrinkle reduction. We're sure of that. It supports your hydrated complexion. So again, makes you a little fluffy. It has some high performing things inside it that help with moisture. That's the allantoin and squalene. It has a collagen support. It has a brightening, which is with the vitamin C. So it has a bunch of different things that are helping your skin itself. And then it also enhances your overall well-being. And I am convinced that it is really true, because when I use it, then about an hour or so later, I'm like, hey, I'm kind of happy. Why? So you have a testimonial for me?
Yes, I do. And I've noticed that same thing, because it's just like, how is this? But it really, really, it does. You put it on and it feels, now again, you guys can keep this on your counter. I keep it in the fridge because I like to wash my face, use the toner, and then I like to put it on cool because I just think it feels good when it's cold, chilled. Don't have to do that. But I do notice not only does it feel good going on and my skin feels a lot softer, but there is definitely the connection. You aren't going to deny it. There is definitely an enhancement in your mood. So I love it. And yes, I do have a testimonial for you. I'm going to turn it over to Paul.
Hi, I'm Paul Limbrick. I'm from Waterloo, Canada. And yeah, my testimony is three-pronged. I really like using it after I've shaved in the mornings. And it kind of smooths out the skin. And I also noticed that it got rid of a little bit of my wrinkles, and it reduced some of the brown spots on the side of my face. And I was kind of like, oh, it did that. Wow, I'm impressed with this product. I guess I'll continue using it. And then all of a sudden, I noticed when I was walking out the door and I was getting ready to go to work, I had a little bounce in my step. And like Dr. Annette said, wow, I was like, oh, I wasn't really paying attention to that, but I just really noticed it. And I was really excited. And, as a single guy, you like to look good. So, so that's my story. And I'm really happy about the product and excited about the possibilities of what it's going to do for me and enhance the tightness of my skin. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Paul. And I totally agree with you on it. Totally. So I was doing my face in the morning, putting it on myself, and I'm like, why doesn't my husband put this on? But of course he won't. So I would put a little squeeze on my hand, I'd run out, and I would put it all over his face. And about, I don't know, maybe like a week or two later, the lady next door is like, Michael, why did your face look so good? You look a lot younger. What happened? I'm like,
Coincidental.
I think that's all. Back to you, Lori.
That is, I love it. These testimonials are incredible. Yes. Paul, you look incredible. I see Michael on here. You look incredible. Dr. Annette, you look incredible. I mean, it really works, you guys. These products are not on trial, or they wouldn't be in the physician's digital reference. They're working. We have third-party clinical studies. You guys realize that some companies have in-house clinical studies only. We have third-party clinical studies. That means outside of our house, outside of the company. And that's why all of our products are in the PDR. That is really, really powerful. So I have to say thank you so much, Dr. Annette, for taking the time. I know you've been on your feet. I know you've been burning the candle at both ends this week, and we just appreciate you sharing so much knowledge. I have a ton of incredible notes. I'm extremely appreciative, and every testimonial shared tonight. Wow, you guys, thank you. Thank you for sharing testimonials from all over the globe, and how helpful. Like what a powerful wellness Zoom that we've had tonight. And for those of you that are interested in trying the products, that have never tried the products before, you have two options. You can try them and you can be a retail person. You can get them at retail prices, or you can get them at wholesale prices. Now, me personally, I'd rather get something at a wholesale price than a retail price. Completely up to you. If you'd like to get them at the retail price, let the person who invited you on the Zoom know that you're interested in picking up some of these products. If you'd like to get them at a wholesale price, you're able to do that for an annual fee of $30. It's $30 one time a year. It's kind of like a Costco. I like to compare it to a Costco membership, Dr. Annette. When you get a Costco membership and then you get the wholesale prices the rest of the year. So we're able to do that if we'd like for $30. Now, for those of you who aren't aware, there is a business side to this. What better business than to help people feel a little bit better, look a little bit better, just help to enhance their overall well-being. So if you're going to use these products, you're going to talk about these products, you're going to share these products, why not build a side business around these products? Fit it in the cracks of what you're currently doing. Like, why not? I see so many people nowadays. You guys see this, right? Social media is a huge thing. So many people on social media selling all kinds of things. And I mean, some of them are great, but maybe it's a shirt or maybe it's, those aren't going to last. I mean, the shirt's going to get old. The shirt's going to get a hole. I'm not saying it's not a nice shirt that someone's selling and they're making a little commission on, but what about helping someone feel better? What about changing their life? Like, what about really enhancing the way somebody looks, the way somebody feels? Like, wow, that's a life-changing thing. To me, that's a lot better than selling a shirt or a pair of shoes or a sponge to wash your car. I don't know. People are sharing all kinds of stuff, right? So I just want to let you guys know we do have a business model. So it's a cross-border social e-commerce business model if you're interested in also building a business with great products that are proven, and that's why they're in that physician's digital reference. So the person that introduced you to this Zoom tonight, they're gonna say three things to you after this Zoom. Number one, they're gonna say thank you. Thank you for taking some time out of your evening. Thank you for joining us. The second thing they're gonna ask you is, do you have any questions? Are there any questions that I could help answer? And the third thing they're gonna say is, would you like to be on the Zoom that tomorrow night we have a gentleman who's going to be sharing exactly how he has built a cross-border e-commerce business using these wellness products. Not only has he built a business, he's built a phenomenally large business and made a lot of money building that business. So if you're interested in the business aspect, let the person know, yes, I would like that Zoom link to the 30-minute Zoom that's going to be happening tomorrow night. So again, we want to thank everyone for taking time out of their evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm sure you learned a ton. Dr. Annette was absolutely fantastic. All the testimonials were wonderful. Thank you guys and have a great rest of your evening.